Welcome, everybody. Well, here we are, day 30. Can you believe it? We've actually made it all the way through to Gevurah of Hod, discipline in humility. So have you ever felt like you had to compromise, but you really, inside yourself and your own being, you really felt like you shouldn't, like you didn't want to, but you did it anyway? There are times in our lives with our relationships and our jobs and other situations when we should or do give in. But what about the times when maybe we should have held our ground? When is it okay to actually hold our ground and not give in? Are there times when someone else felt like maybe you should be the one to compromise and you just couldn't? You just didn't have it in you. Yesterday, we had Chesed of Hod, loving kindness in humility. Now today we have the attribute of Gevurah of Hod. Okay, so we are looking at the emotional attribute of discipline and justice and strength and how it could influence our individual states of humility. Have you ever seen something go wrong, or maybe you've overheard something and then you just let it go? You kept your silence when maybe you could have actually spoken up. Or have you ever felt such a lack of respect for the other person that it just didn't seem like the effort was worth it? We always want to come from a place of strength. Whatever our choices, let them flow from within, from a very strong core inside us, the center of this energy that resides within each and every one of us. When we call upon the Gevurah of Hod, we will access that point of power, driving us, that point that is centered in our own personal truth. Not only our own personal truth that's in connection with the divine, but the universal truth that guides us all. That's a truth, that energy that flows through the Sefirot. When we access our humility, the attribute of Hod, we will engage honest interaction without arrogance. Humility will have its place in how events will play out. Sandeep Jain wrote an article on leadership showing how it can be influenced by courage, humility, and discipline. So we're going to look at these three elements, and I've adapted them to highlight this week's attribute of Hod. So we've discussed how change is something that we all need to accept, or we might as well just recognize that we're going to be left behind. It's going to happen whether we like it or not. Whether we are leading others, or maybe we're just trying to make it through these trying times, we need to summon up the qualities of courage, humility, and discipline to actually guide us. Our actions will then be defined by the strength that resides within us, as well as all of us operating at our highest and most personal best. In this world where volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity is the norm rather than the exception, we need to actually have some sound strategies to be able to confront reality and then steer ourselves towards success. Success may just be getting up every day and making it through another day and saying, hey, I'm still alive. It's the pandemic, but I'm still here. Or success can be in other ways where we're actually, as we are doing with this 49-day count of the Omer, evolving our own personal emotional self, our own attributes, and then being able to apply those things that we learn to our relationships with others and hopefully help elevate the world. So what we're doing is extremely critical and important to what's going on and very relevant to our times today. So exemplifying courage, humility, and discipline in our thoughts and our deeds can distinguish the exceptional from the mediocre. So without being arrogant or boastful, I'm proud of all of you because you can know that you're falling into the category of exceptional because you are taking the time to count the Omer and to take a look at yourself. We can stay relevant while change swirls all around us, keeping our heads about us, not getting sucked into the crazy, and be people who are dynamic, able to make a difference, rather than people who are static and unable to evolve with the times. So ask yourself, who would you rather be? Our world is going through a major shift right now. We are amidst some kind of crazy sort of evolution, the likes we've never seen before. This COVID pandemic has humbled us all. It is going to take all the courage, the humility, and the discipline we can muster to make it through to a place that we can actually look back from, a place that's better, more evolved for both humanity and our world. We are, in a sense, being forced to go back to the basics, which we'll talk about more tomorrow. We're forced to get a gut check on reality, what's really important, and then do things differently. Our world is going to be forever changed, as are we. We can accept this as we venture out to create something better, or then otherwise be left behind in the chaos, falling deeper and deeper and deeper into the abyss. We need courage. No one is complete or competent in all respects. Everybody has little chinks in their armor. The one who actually realizes this is the one who will dare to do something about it. To realize, one needs courage to get feedback and to honestly look at themselves in the mirror, to face your innermost fears, which we're all doing, to face the change, discover the blind spots, ask for and seek feedback, and then to act on the same, even if it may not actually be to your liking. That takes immense courage. Courage is about confronting your weaknesses and devising strategies to then do the work necessary to overcome them. So this is what we're doing with the entire count. We're looking at all of our attributes, and then we're identifying, where we have, succeeded, where we maybe came a little short, and what we need to do to make it up. Courage is about getting out of your comfort zone and doing things that actually feel uncomfortable. Now let's look at humility, which of course is our attribute for the week. The first step is accepting that you are not perfect. Nobody is. Humility is acknowledging that the work that needs to be done to change and to grow, not to let ego come in the way of this process of change, and therefore growth, and then to accept the areas that we recognize are needing a bit of improvement. Humility involves letting go of our ego, focusing on how to change our behavior in order to be more effective. We're always learning, we're always growing, hopefully until the day we move on into the spiritual realm. And none of us, we're getting a real gut check on how we really don't know when that day is. It could be sooner rather than later. So we want to take care of our business. Any learning journey is a humbling experience as the realization dawns that there's not much that you didn't know or didn't realize, or how you could have done things differently to be even more effective. And in order to do things differently, we've explored the attribute of discipline, and that's what we're talking about now with Gevurah. Discipline is the third pillar for adopting any change or learning anything new. It is the ability to commit your time and your energy with what you are expecting to achieve, to be able to devote yourself to a learning journey, as all of you are now with the counting of the Omer. This needs a lot of commitment and a lot of discipline and a lot of humility. I don't know of actually anything that when you're going on a 49-day journey, just like we did back in the days of the wilderness, that takes a lot of discipline, and you guys are doing it by keeping up with it every day. We are exemplifying this with this Omer count. We've been disciplined in our reflection of ourselves, how the 7 emotional attributes of the Sefirot affect us, and the decisions and the choices that we're making as we go along. We all need to get out of our comfort zones once again and relearn some behaviors and maybe actually adopt a few new ones. This is going to be more important than ever as we come out of this pandemic. Discipline is the key ingredient necessary for new patterns of thinking or behaving to actually get ingrained in us and to become a habit for all time, a good one. To be great at anything, we have to have the discipline to follow through and do the hard work to keep getting better. That is what is required of us most at this time. We need to have the courage to reflect on ourselves, as we've discussed so much, and have the courage to actually be willing to make a change. Seeing and not taking action is only the half of it. We need humility in our reflection to truly see where we can grow, where we can change, and where we can then make a difference. Then we need the discipline to actually get us where we want to go. There's a Switchfoot song that was sent to me last night by somebody in our class. It was no accident as I was preparing our lesson for today. And the lyrics actually apply so much to what we're actually learning about. So I included a little bit of it, and it's called Where the Light Shines Through. So think about how we're kind of living in a world of outer space right now. We are all in the twilight zone. So here's the words. When you're feeling like an astronaut stuck on a planet, even time forgot, and you're a version of yourself, but you're not the same. You try to keep the wound camouflaged and the stitches heal, but the years are lost, and another bottle on the shelf cannot numb the pain. Why are you running from yourself now? Because you can't run away. Because your scars, they shine like dark stars. Yeah, your wounds are where the light shines through. So let's go there, to that place where we sing these broken prayers, where the light shines through, where the light finds you. All of us are living in these very surreal times right now. We hurt, we bleed, but we come back. It takes strength in our courage, strength in our humility, and the discipline to get us there. The light will find us because it's there, actually inside of us all along. We humans are amazing. We have been through so much throughout our collective history. All of us, mankind, womankind, humanity across the globe. The one that we are writing right now is a shared destiny that we will all have a hand in. We still have so much left to enjoy and invest in ourselves, in each other, our world. With courage, humility, and discipline guiding our way, we cannot fail. Victory will be ours over anything that threatens us. Yes, we will have lives that have been lost, but we have to go forward and carry on so that their life will not be lost in vain. We just need to recognize that we have everything we need inside of us to make a change, to be willing to grow, and have the courage of our convictions. When we lead with humility and are governed by discipline, we will have the strength to endure any obstacles or people thrown in our path. Divinity will guide us, and we will all ascend to a higher state of being. Discipline in humility. Gevurah of Hod. This is going to get us where we need to go. So let us reflect upon this all throughout this next day. We're going to regroup tomorrow when we have Tiferet and Hod, love and beauty and compassion in humility. Tune in tomorrow.